students, how are you all? I am your social science teacher, Miss Loganayagi. I am going to teach you history, civics and geography for you. Yes, some of the videos you have seen from Mrs. Sheila. Again, we are going to learn that lessons. Okay, today we'll start the lesson number 1 of history. Okay, yes. What do you know about the lesson number 1, Indian National Movement? Do you know this word? Already you have crossed this word in your 8th standard, isn't it? Yes. Why India started a national movement? Do you know that? Yes. We were under the control of British. The British people came to India 1612. Okay, in the period of Mughal, to do the trade business. They came in the year of 1612 in Jahangir period. Yes, and they were doing business. Slowly they were occupying the whole country by colonizing the country. That means they are going and settling the place and taking the economic rights and doing the trade. Slowly they are occupying the politically. Okay, then Indians were not united. That's why some new person came to inside that and started to rule us. Okay, this all you know well. Now they want to unite themselves. Indians want to unite themselves. Okay, so they started the Great Uprising. The word Great Uprising. Okay, first war of independence. They came to know that they were under the control of British. Slowly whole India under the control of British. Okay, nowadays we are easily going here and there by train or flight. Those days there is no proper transport system, so people cannot go from Kashmir to Tamil Nadu anywhere else easily. They have to walk or they have to use some carts, some animals to go on. It takes years together to move one place to another place, months together, isn't it? Yes, that's why they don't know what's happening whole India. Okay, whether this people were occupied, this British people occupied as a trade or they occupied a political rights, they don't know anything. So when they come to know, it's almost 200 years over. Okay, I told you 1600 they came to India, but when people start join together and to fight, it takes 200 years. Okay, they realized they were under the control of British. So what are the things made them to protest again, to war against this British people? How they started the war? Really, is it a war, or what all the things they did? And first of all, what was the causes? Okay, what made them to protest against the British? They were doing quietly good only, no? 200 years they were silently, they are doing their work, Indians. But suddenly why they want to protest? Yes, some causes are there. There were political causes, social causes, religious causes, economic causes and military causes. And one more thing, immediately somewhere the protest started. Immediate cause. One more cause is there, immediate cause. This lesson we are going to learn this causes. Okay, yes, before that I want to show you the map where all the protest, that means people started to fight, showing their anger. Okay, Jhansi, Kanpur, Lucknow, Faizabad, Bareilly, Meerut, Delhi. Can you see the key? The main centers of the revolt. Other centers of revolt. Okay, the all red rectangles are main triangles are red triangles are main centers of revolt. Okay, by the way, there are three names for this war. Okay, first war of independence, great uprising, revolt. Okay, and one more thing, Sipai mutiny. Okay, we can call by the name Sipai mutiny. Okay, there are some names for this protection, that means against the British. Okay, these are the places people started to fight against British people. Okay, these are the some places. Okay, even it's there in the down south India also, but commonly we can mention these places. Okay, some first causes, we are going to look into the political causes. Okay, you keep this word in your mind, policy of annexation followed by the Lord Dalhousie. You know, children, the doctrine of lapse. Okay, the Indian people and the rulers know how the English East India Company had taken recourse of the treasury. Okay, slowly they occupied the full India. That I told you. The main thing you want to know in this political cause, doctrine of lapse. This is, you know already, you know well in this 8th standard. Again, if you have 8th standard book, you open and read to more understanding. Okay, if you don't have book, no, since we didn't give book, so you can learn from your 8th standard book. Okay, see this man, this Lord Dalhousie is a British governor. What he did, you know, if any king or queen doesn't have a baby on his own, okay, if they are not their own children, they will not allow them to adopt any children. Okay, that state belong to this British people. Okay, like that he made one rule that we call doctrine of lapse. Okay, doctrine of lapse all around annexation of Indian states, abolition of titles, pensions. Okay, one by one we'll learn. Okay, first one is doctrine of lapse. That is, if they don't have heir, the proper children, they cannot rule the state. It should be automatically under the control of British. That is the rule of British. So that policy people hate. Okay, see, you know, if they don't have children, they can adopt the children and they can rule their country, their state, but their territory, but they are not allowing. Like that, some of the places were spoiled. Satara, Jhansi, Nagpur, these places they don't have proper heir to continue the territory. To control, there is no proper kingdom. Okay, if the king dies, there is no one to take care, but they cannot adopt also. So that kind of states will come under the control of British. This was made by Lord Dalhousie. We can call this policy doctrine of lapse. Okay, the next one we'll learn this next. Okay, yes, the next thing is disrespect of shown to the Bahadur Shah. Okay, number one, you learned doctrine of lapse. Keep this in your mind, this word. Okay, by this one word you have to make a paragraph. Okay, what happened, what is the policy, which were the places where affect, you should know. Which was the lord that made this rule. Okay, that you should know. Okay, the second one, disrespect shown to Bahadur Shah. By the way, Bahadur Shah is the last Mughal ruler. Okay, he was the we can say he is the leader for this war. Okay, but they don't have any power at that time. They don't have any power, but all the people, those who are in this places, all they joined together. They made him as a leader to lead the war of independence. Okay, so but he doesn't have any power. After they defeated him, that he was sent out of the country to Rangoon. Okay, so after his children were staying in the Red Fort, they were sent out of the fort and they cannot live in that kind of mahals. Okay, it was hurt the people, disrespected this own their old grandparents, grandparents, their pioneers build the buildings, but their children cannot live in that buildings. Okay, the house of Mughals was also humbled when English announced that after the death of Bahadur Shah II, the Mughals would lose the title of kings and his successors would have vacated the Red Fort. It hurt sentiments of the Muslims. It has been rightly remarked that the increase of the disrespect shown by the English to the emperor increased the aversion of the Indians for the British. Okay, this is made the people to hurt. The Muslim people was hurt by this because this is their own, they are living there, but now they cannot live because they are taken the kingship title also. They no more they are kings. Okay, so that was hurt the Muslim people and they cannot live in that mahals, Red Fort. So that also they made the angry to war against these British. Okay, the number one I told you, doctrine of lapse. Number two I told you, the disrespect of the Bahadur Shah. Okay, the number third one is ill treatment of Nana Sahib and Rani Jhansi. Okay, now Bajirao II, the last Peshwa, adopted Nana Sahib as his son. After the death of Peshwa, the English refused to acknowledge Nana Sahib as the ruler of Marathas because he was adopted king hai. He is not his own son. So they are not allowing Nana Sahib to rule that territory, the Marathas. So Rani Jhansi Lakshmi Bai was not allowed to adopt. Here she is not allowed to adopt the child. Already Bajirao adopted the son. They are not allowing them to rule that territory. So this is ill treatment. Okay, they don't like this kind of treatment. This is our own country. We can have all rights to rule this country, this territory, but they are not allowing to rule this. So this now you keep it in your mind. In this page you learnt about doctrine of lapse, disrespect of Bahadur Shah, ill treatment of Nana Sahib and Rani Lakshmi Bai, and some more points also we are going to learn. Yes, here the fourth one, annexation of Oudh. The Lord Dalhousie annexed Oudh to British Empire in under the pretext of the misgovernance. That what is misgovernance means, they are not ruling properly. You are not able to rule. Your rule is not good. So you give us, we are going to rule. Like that, this doctrine, this Dalhousie made this place out as annexed one. Okay, it was through the thousands of nobles, gentlemen, officers and soldiers out of the job. See, I am holding one territory, I am ruling that place, I have all ability to do, but someone is coming out of this country and coming and telling me you are not capable to rule, you are not ruling properly, you are misgovernance. Okay, this policy misgovernance, so give us, we are going to rule. So this Dalhousie only made this kind of rule and he took this place Awadh. Okay, and many of them don't have any kind of job. The British confiscated the estates of the zamindars and talukdars. Okay, they took this all kings and nobles and gentlemen and out of the thing they made the people to take care of the place, territory, that is zamindars and talukdars. Okay, it created dissatisfaction among the all classes of the people of Oudh. They rose in anger and became anger to the inimical to the English people. Okay, yes, they are getting very angry, they want to fight against the English people. Okay, disbanding the armies of the annexed states. Okay, you learnt doctrine of lapse, number one. Number two, you learnt this disrespect of Bahadur Shah. Number three, you learnt ill treatment of Nana Sahib and Jhansi. Number four, you learnt the annexation of Oudh, and the number five, you are going to learn disbanding the armies of the annexed states. Already they annexed Oudh, they annexed Jhansi, they annexed Marathas. So this kind of places came under the control. Okay, Delhi they annexed. So the way this soldiers were there. Okay, they don't want to continue that kind of soldiers. They want to create one new troops. Okay, all such states that were annexed by the company had their troops disbanded. Okay, all the states had some troops, isn't it? Some soldiers, army people. Yes, now they cannot continue that. They want to create a new one. As a result, thousands of families lost their means of livelihood. Yes, all the people of the soldiers and other people, the officers, they don't have work now. It's everything under the control of the company, that is British. Okay, that disbanded the soldiers blamed the British company for their reign and determined to take revenge. They spread hatred against the English by agitating the people. What happened? All were soldiers and other military people. They were thrown out of the job. So they all are keeping in their mind. They have the revenge to get the correct time to fight against the English people. Okay, next one, effect on other princes. Okay, the aggressive and the provocative policy of the Lord Dalhousie also made the other Indian rulers whose states had not been annexed suspicious of the design. They began to think that they would also meet the similar fate. So something happened in North India, the South Indian or East India and West India kings also may think, okay, this will come to us also. So we should be more conscious. Okay, more caution we should take. We should make this British people away from us. So like that they were also thinking, and they are ready to fight. Okay, next, corrupt and inefficient administration. This is important thing, children. Already they said you don't know how to rule the place. They took the oath, but here they themselves, they don't know how to rule us. They were not at all giving the good administration to the Indian people. The British administration in India was corrupt and inefficient. Okay, the English had a feeling of superiority and treated the Indians with the contempt and arrogance and insulted them. Okay, we are not at all equal to them. They didn't think we are human. They were thinking we are just dogs. Okay, so they are treating us like that. They thought we don't have any intelligent knowledge or anything. We don't have, just we are laborers. Okay, the main aim of the English officers was to enrich themselves at the cost of Indians. They want to make more money from India. That is only their aim. The Indians did not consider them as their benefactors. Okay, they didn't think we are the one who are giving us them, we are giving them money and in the way of business. They didn't think of that. Okay, they did not consider them as their benefactors, and the British rule had them as thus became unbearable. We cannot bear this, their control, their administration, their inefficient rules. We cannot control this. So these are the points for the political cause. Number 2 is social and religious causes. We learned political causes, under that 7 point. Next we are going to learn social and religious causes. Under this we have 6 points. Okay, the British interference in the social and religious cultural customs of Indian. The Christians missionaries adopt various forceful methods to spread Christianity in India. Okay, the people, these British people all were Christians, so they want to spread their religion in India. They made violent attacks on Islam and Hinduism. They began to interfere in Hindu and Muslim religious beliefs. Okay, they said what you are following, that is not correct. You believe Jesus Christ or Christianity, that is the true religion. So they are forcing them to convert. Custom and tradition, they are telling your customs, your traditions are not valid. They began to convert the Indians to Christianity by offering them jobs, rewards, promotion. Okay, if you became a Christian, we'll give you government job, or we'll give you place in the military. We'll give you a reward. Already if they are working in military, they'll get a reward. If they have the next level, they can go. If once they became a Christian, they'll get this kind of things. Okay, so one who is denying them, one who said no, we don't want to convert, we don't want to follow your Christianity, they'll be in the poor condition. The government supported the activities of the missionaries and instruction the Christianity began to give in the government schools and jails. See, the government is British government, it's supporting the missionaries. The missionaries comes from the British, and they were spreading the Christianity through schools. They go to government schools and tell about Jesus Christ, and they go to jails and they talk about Jesus and his miracles, and they are asking them to understand the Christianity, and they are converting the people there. The activities of the missionaries perturbed the people. Perturbed means they were getting angry. Okay, they didn't like this. Okay, this kind of activity, they were angry about this British missionaries. Okay, that is the first one, that is related to religion. If you know Christianity, you should make a paragraph on the Christianity. Okay, people doesn't like this activity of British people. Next is social and religious reforms. Okay, already we had some practice of sati and child marriage, infanticide, polygamy. Okay, by the way, sati means if husband die, the wife also should die in that fire itself. Next, child marriage, LKG UKG children will get married in that time. Those time people will get their children early marriage. Okay, after marriage they'll stay in their own house. When they mature, they'll go to their mother-in-law house. Okay, infanticide, they kill the small babies. Okay, that is also the practice they had. And polygamy, one man can marry any how many women also, that practice they had. Okay, this all was abolished by this British people. Okay, they don't like this kind of activities. Okay, one side it may be good for us. Okay, why to leave the children? See, the father is dying, the mother also should die. No, who will take care of the children? So it was a bad practice we had. But at the same time, these people were very angry. We are following one kind of custom, why are you coming and abolishing that? Okay, so the sati, all practice are bad practice only. Now nothing is there. So sati was abolished, child marriage was abolished, infanticide was abolished, polygamy was abolished. If a man marry 2 or 3 wives, immediately the police will come and arrest. Okay, if the first wife give any complaint. Okay, so the widow remarriage and was legalized. If a widow the husband die, the wife should die. Otherwise, if she leaves, she has to live alone with some rules and regulation. She cannot marry again. But this British people made the widows to remarry. It was legalized. Okay, they said legally you can marry any person. The people thought the British were unnecessarily interfering in their religious matters and wanted to reign their social order. This all their social beliefs. They are thinking they want to put us out of this from our society. So but they don't want to listen to the British people, they want to follow this. But the British people abolishing this all, so they became inimical towards the British, angry towards the British people. Okay, this is the sati system was abolished in 1829. Okay, see this, if a husband dies, the wife also should jump into the fire. Okay, where this husband graveyard, yes, isn't it? They will put them in the fire. Some customs they have, some they'll keep the body in the under the earth, some they burn, like that they'll do. No, so this wife also should jump in the fire. That was abolished. One side it is helpful, the other side people thought they are ruling us in our social. Already they are economically they are forcing us. Politically they took all rights. Again the socially they are coming and torturing the people. Indians were thinking like that. Okay, now it may be good for us. In those time you think about that, if a child is getting marriage in 4-5 years, maybe the burden gone, the parents were happy. Okay, isn't it? That kind of thing. If they're telling no, don't want to get marriage, means the child will be in their house, so it is be burden for them, and they cannot do their duty properly. So this all were there. Okay, so they were very angry in this matter. Next, resentment among the Hindus and the Muslim priest. Okay, the spread of Western culture and education gave a severe blow to the honor and influence privileges of the Orthodox Pandits and Maulis. Okay, Pandits and Maulis, they were spreading the religious people. They were not at all giving any honor, because the spread of Western culture, the Western culture spread in the Indian society, people don't want to give any respect to Pandit and Maulis. Okay, they begin to raise the cry, our religion and customs are in great danger, because the Pandit and Maulis are not at all getting any kind of honor from the people. Why? The spread of Western culture, they are teaching them the Western culture. It's not we are equal. Okay, there is no guru or shishya like that. Okay, that is the education gave them the open the eye that we should take only knowledge from them. Okay. Yes, this kind of activities made this Pandits and Maulvis very angry. Okay, they held the English responsible for the loss of their privileges and began to provoke people against the English. Okay, they started to teach them, see, we are here to teach you, don't listen to the Western culture, and they are keeping the people against the English. Next one, the introduction of railways. This is maybe laughing thing for you, but it's really happened. Introduction of railways and telegraphs are also created suspicions and fear in the minds of the people. Okay, what they thought, if one who is not listening the Christianity or not converting themselves into Christianity, okay, they thought that measures means railways and telegraphs. Okay, telegraph poles. Okay, they thought that these measures were introduced to propagate Christianity, and those who were reluctant to embrace Christianity would be thrown before the railway engines or hanged by the telegraph poles. Okay, do you understand? They introduced the railways newly. Okay, they were thinking one who is not converting themselves to Christianity, they'll be thrown in the before engine or hang in the telegram poles. Okay, they were thinking like that, but it was not true. They are introducing the new thing to India, but people thought like that. Okay, this is the roads and railways were laid throughout the India to carry Indian products to the seaports. Okay, this is the means of transport. They introduced that, but people thought if we are not become Christian, they'll put us in the death. Okay, next one, introduction of new laws. The Dalhousie introduced a new law that whoever has converted themselves in the Christianity, they'll get their ancestral property. That means we have property, that property will stay with us. Otherwise, they'll take the property. That kind of law they created. The government taxed lands belong to the temples and the mosque or charitable institution. It hurt the religious sentiments of the people. Okay, temples, where the temples and the mosque or any charitable institution, they had the land. They have to pay tax for that place. So that made them very angry, and one who is not converting to Christianity, they will take the property. Okay, that kind of threat also they did. Okay, the people began to think the government was bent on converting them to Christianity. Okay, next, ill treatment of Indians. Already I told you in the corrupt inefficient administration. Again, it's going to come. English belonged to the ruling class, and they had a feeling of superiority. They thought we are only ruling them, we are superior. Okay, they looked down upon the Indians and treated them with arrogance and often insulted them. They crossed all limits of decency and humiliated them by calling them niggers. Niggers means black people, swines. We are like pigs. They branded them heathens. One who don't know the Christianity, we call them heathens. Okay, they are not belong to Christianity. Okay, they were calling us like that. The Christianity never tell us treat the people like this, but they thought they were forcing us to become a Christian, but they didn't teach Christianity properly. As a Christian, we cannot control this all. We can treat everybody equally, even the sinners and the one who don't know Jesus Christ also equal in the sight of God. Okay, God came for the whole world, not for the only Christians. This simple truth they cannot understand because they are in the place of ruling. That's why they couldn't understand this kind of truth. Okay, so these are the things of social religious causes we learnt about. The Christianity, they are forcing them to become a Christian. Okay, they are putting their nose into the cultural customs. Next one, they are asking them to leave some of the social activities of to abolish. Okay, this all superstitious things, or they don't want to them to practice this all. And next one is resentment among the Hindus and Muslim priest. Okay, there were no value of the priest. They, because of the spread of Western culture, people, they didn't give any respect to the priest or one who educate them in the religion. Okay, they started the new thing. Our religion and customs are in great danger, so the people started to provoke against the British. Okay, next they introduced the railways and telegraphs to help, but they thought one was not accepting Christianity will they put them in the death through this kind of gadgets. Okay, next introduction of new laws. Okay, they had a tax, to have to pay the tax for the land for temples and mosque, and they introduced a new law in 1850. One was not converting Christianity, maybe their ancestral property will be taken away from them. So this all laws were made them angry. And ill treatment, last one, ill treatment of the people. They didn't keep us as we are human. Okay, they thought we are just animals. So this kind of treatment this Indian people don't like. These are the social religious causes. Next we are going to learn economic causes.